Well, hey there, research project people. You're tuning into a video about the evaluation. This video is going to cover the summary, and you can have a look at the other videos that address the other three sections on this channel. So the summary is the 150 word section that really allows the research project marker the ability to see what it is that you have done throughout the entire semester. The evaluation is marked externally, which means that it's marked by people who haven't seen all of your work. They haven't been with you this entire process. And so the summary really is just a way of letting people know exactly what it is that you have done. So it's only 150 words in providing background information about the topic and the nature of your research project. So some things you might want to talk about. You might mention what your research question was about. You might talk about how you refined your question to a specific area of research within the general topic of study. So you might have said, I was really interested in football. I then decided to have a look at the injuries involved with football, and I ended up with a question that looked at the impact of ACL injuries on athletes returning to the game. You might then have a brief sentence or two about how this topic relates to you personally. Most of you have picked topics that you were really interested in for very specific reasons. So this is your opportunity to talk about that there. And then lastly, what information have you learnt? Essentially, what was the answer to your overall question? And then the last thing that you might do is provide a brief statement about which of your research processes were the most effective in answering your question. So some people like to have this in question form that they then try and answer. So you might have some questions that look like this. What was the subject of your research and why was it chosen? If the topic changed during the research, how did it change and why did it change? You need to give reasons for it. Third question, what were the main ways you collected information? What were the key findings? And what was the outcome of your research? What was the answer to your question? So whether you do it as questions or whether you try and do it by dot points, doesn't really matter. You've got 150 words to try and explain to the marker exactly what your research project was all about. When you've done that, we'll get stuck into E1.